सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम शांतिः शांतिः शांतिः। Respected Vice Chancellor of the Ascended University, the moderator, respected dignitaries present here, the speakers present here, all the respected mothers coming from various countries, all the mothers coming from various parts of the country, and all other participants. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the organizers for organizing this very unique type of program, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and connecting it with the family and the mother, and a program for the global mothers. And I was very happy to know that it was preceded by Mothers on Wheels, which is a very unique program. So I would like to congratulate the organizers for such type of unique program, and I hope that this will continue with a follow-up system. We are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Actually, this is a part of Indian philosophy and culture. Indian philosophy is based on Vedanta, which is the Upanishads, and in Mahopanishad you find in chapter 4th, 71st sloka, we find it is told, Ayam nijah paro vetti ganna lagu chetasam udara charitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The meaning is, those people who think this is mine and this is not mine, they are narrow-minded people. But those who are broad-minded people, they think whole world is my family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. That is the concept of Indian philosophy, where we talk about uniting the whole world and taking the whole world as a family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thousands of years back. We are not talking about globalization. But in India, we talked about globalization, that is, globalization of the truest, in the truest sense of the term. At present, what globalizations come is on economic front. But where is the global peace? Global peace is not there. Global peace cannot come till there is a global civilization. And global civilization cannot come unless until all the civilizations, they accept this concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And that can be brought about by mothers in the families, because it is they who give the values. So that is how the whole program is connected. The mothers giving values to their own families, and when there is peace in the mind, when there is harmony in the mind, in the individual, then there will be peace in the family. And when there is peace in the family, then only there will be peace in the country, and then only there will be a peace in the whole world. So if we really want Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we want to take the whole world as family, and if we want that the whole world there should be harmony and peace, in that case we have to start with the mothers in the families who start giving these values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in their own families. Then it will start and it will percolate down. So it's a very important topic, and here this seminar has been organized, and I am very sure that those who are coming here will get inspired with this ideal of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and that will only lead to global peace. When this idea is accepted that the whole world is a family, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, we are all one. The whole humanity is one. That concept has to come, and then only the world will be a better place to live in. This is all based on Indian philosophy. Indian philosophy is based on Vedanta. And to give a summary of Vedanta, it is based on two principles. One, the divinity of the soul, and second, solidarity of the whole universe. Each and every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, has got a center of divinity within him or her. This is what Swami Vivekananda proclaimed in the Parliament of World Religions in 1893 in Chicago, when he declared what the Rishi had declared in the Shveta Upanishad. Shrunvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastuhu Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Tameva Viditvati Mritameti Nanya Panta Vidite Naya. I have found the Ancient One who is beyond all miseries. By knowing him alone, you shall be free from all miseries. And then Swami Vivekananda told, sisters and brothers of America, let me call you by this sweet name, Amritasya Putra, ye the children of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings, ye divinities are not sinners, it is a sin to call a man so. It is a standing liable on human nature. Come up, O lions, and shake up the delusion that you are sheep. Your souls immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. You are not matter, you are not bodies. Matter is a servant, not ye the servant of matter. So there it is told, Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. In the Kathopanishad it is told, Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Gudo Atmana Prakashate Drishyate Tvagraya Buddhya Shukshmaya Shukshmadarshibhi. Inside each and every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, there is a center of divinity. This is what has been told. Inside every human being. There is no bracket there. Just now I recited the mantra, the shloka. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. O Lord, let all be happy. Let all be happy, let all be healthy, let all attain goodness, let none get misery. There is no bracket there. All, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, we pray every day. This is our Indian spiritual culture. This is our philosophy. What does it say? Pray for all. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let all be happy. There is no bracket there. It is recently we have started putting brackets. O Lord, let all be happy, minus Christians. O Lord, let all be happy, minus Muslim. O Lord, let all be happy, minus Hindus. Let all be happy, minus mother-in-law. Let all be happy, minus daughter-in-law. All these brackets we are truly putting now. Previously there was no bracket. Let all be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. And that is principle emanating from the second principle of Vedanta, and that is the solidarity of the whole universe. The whole universe is one. It is one consciousness permeating the whole world. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. Ishavasam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena taktena bhunji tha ma grida kasya siddhanam, says the Ishavasya Upanishad. The whole world is permeated by one universal consciousness, and that is why do not covet others' wealth. Enjoy the world by renunciation. This is Ishavasya Upanishad. So there it is told, the whole world is one. So you need not cheat anybody. Let us prosper together. That is the message given. And now the modern quantum mechanics has also proved that it is a holistic universe. Bell's theorem states that all the particles of the whole universe are interconnected at deeper level. David Bohm, a Nobel Prize physicist, has already verified experimentally, yes, it is one universe. It is not fragmented universe. It is one universe. And that is why Schrödinger says, consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown. Erwin Schrödinger, another Nobel Prize physicist, says, consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown. It is one universal consciousness permeating the whole world. And that is why Indian philosophy says you should love others, because by loving others, you do benefit to yourself. Unselfishness is more paying in the long run. Unfortunately, people do not have the passions to practice it. Why should I practice unselfishness? Because by serving others, I serve myself, because it is a holistic universe. These are the two principles of Vedanta. Based on that, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam can be successfully implemented in our daily life, in our individual life, in our family life. And when the families all over the world, all over the globe, start practicing these values, then only we will have real benefit of this concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So these two things we have to keep in mind when we are talking about Indian philosophy, the divinity of the soul and solidarity of the whole universe. And now I come to the second point, which is very important, the role of mothers in the families. What is the Indian concept of family? In the Indian concept of family, mothers is the supreme boss. So that is why in the Upanishad, what is in the Taittiriya Upanishad is told, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava. Starts with Matru Devo Bhava. Worship your mother as God. Worship your father as God. Worship your teacher as God. And worship your guest as God. But it starts with worship of God in mother. And in the motherhood of God, in India, we have the concept of God as mother. And it is told in Durga Saptasati, another scripture of India's. What is told there? Vidya samasta tava devi bheda, striya samasta sakala jagatsu. All the women are manifestation of the same divine mother. That divine mother is residing in each and every woman, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality. Vidya samasta tava devi bheda, striya samasta sakala jagatsu. Of the whole world, all the women of the world, they have got that divine mother in them. And that is why I bow down to all the mothers here sitting in front of me, whether from India or abroad, because there is divinity within all of you. This is the concept. Mother is the supreme boss, and this mother will give the samskaras to the family. Mother can bring the samskaras. No, we should love each and every person, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality. In fact, all the great people all over the world, they owed their greatness to their mothers. I will give only one example, Swami Vivekananda. You must have heard his name. And what does he say? That whatever I am is because of my mother. And so, he says, the mother is more respected than the father or the teacher, according to our scriptures. The ancient lawgiver Manu writes, this I am talking about Manu Smriti. This is Manu Smriti, Manu Samhita 2.145. What does it say, Manu Samhita? Says, from the point of view of reverence due, a teacher is tenfold superior to a mere lecturer. I'm giving you the calculus of a mother, greatness of a mother. Just listen. A teacher is tenfold superior to a mere lecturer, a father 100-fold to a teacher, and a mother 1,000-fold to a father. So you calculate how many times more. What is the importance of a mother? One mother is equal to 1,000 fathers, and one father is equal to 100 teachers, and one teacher is equal to 10 lecturers. So now find out how much great is a mother in our Indian scriptures. That much is the importance that is given to a mother, to a woman here in India. And that is why secret behind her social status. That is all because of the importance that is given. The peace and happiness of the family depends on her quality of life. And Sister Nivedita, as you know, Miss Margaret Noble, she was a teacher in UK, and Swami Vivekananda brought her to India for starting a school for the girls, because Swami Vivekananda thought that national development cannot take place without the development of women, and women development cannot take place without the education of women. So he wanted to start a school for the girls in 1898, and that's why he gave a call to Miss Margaret Noble, and because she sacrificed her whole life, dedicated her whole life for the sake of educating Indian women, Swami Vivekananda gave her the name Nivedita, the dedicated one. So Sister Nivedita points out, there is thus a point of view from which the lives of Indian women may be considered as a vast cooperation of this race to perform necessary labor, dignifying it meanwhile by every association of refinement, tenderness, and self-respect. And it might be also claimed that the Orthodox Hindu household is the only one in the world which combines a high degree of civilization with the complete elimination of any form of domestic slavery. And Swami Vivekananda says in his lecture, when he delivered a lecture on the women of India, Swamiji declared that the ideal of womanhood in the West is the wife, while the mother is the ideal in the East. The very peculiarity of Hindu women which they have developed and which is the ideal of their life is that of the mother. If you enter a Hindu's home, you will not find the wife to be the same equal companion of the husband as you find her here, that is in the West. But when you find the mother, she is the very pillar of the Hindu home. The wife must wait to become the mother, and then she will be everything. So mother is everything. And Swami Vivekananda says, I owe my greatness to my mother. Then he says, the mother is the God in our family. The idea is that the only real love that we see in the world, the most unselfish love, is the mother always suffering, always loving. And what love can represent the love of God more than the love which we see in the mother? That the mother is the incarnation of God on earth to the Hindu. So that is why Swami Vivekananda gave so much importance to the role of a mother in a family to bring out the values. And it was Vivekananda's strong conviction that no child can achieve real greatness without being respectful to parents, particularly to the mother. As a true follower of Indian tradition, Swami Vivekananda himself glorified his mother's great character and said, always suffering, always loving, the love which my mother gave to me has made me what I am, and I owe a debt to her that I can never repay. I know that before I was born, my mother would fast and pray and do hundreds of things which I could not even do for 5 minutes. She did that for 2 years. I believe that whatever religious culture I have, I owe to that. It was consciously that my mother brought me into the world to be what I am. Whatever little good impulse I have was given to me by my mother, and consciously and not unconsciously. Consciously it was brought in the prenatal stage, and that is why Swamiji says that prenatal stage is very important. The Western concept is education starts from day one. Indian concept is education starts from -9 months when the child is in the womb. And that is why in Gujarat they have started Children University. Children University for the children who are not born, who are yet to be born. So the mothers are put into the Tapovan, and the education, and now this Garbha Vigyan has become, it is very scientifically they have proved that the children education starts from -9 months. When the child is in the womb, that time, and that is why the Children University in Gujarat, they are educating the children who are in the womb by keeping the mothers in Tapovan. From motherhood, now listen to the role of a mother. We are talking about the role of a mother in bringing about this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the values. So Swami Vivekananda says, from motherhood comes tremendous responsibility. There is the basis. Start from that. Well, why is mother to be worshipped so much? Because our books teach us that it is the prenatal influence that gives the impetus to the child for good or evil. Go to 100,000 colleges, read 1,000,000 books, associate with all the learned men of the world. Better off you are when born with the right stamp. Unless until you are born with the right stamp, these millions of colleges are not going to do any good to you if you are not educated during prenatal stage. What a power, Swami Vivekananda. Thus say our books directed by the prenatal influence. Why should mother be worshipped? Because she made herself pure. She underwent harsh penances, sometimes to keep herself as pure as purity can be. My father and mother fasted and prayed for years and years so that I would be born. They pray for every child before it is born. Says our great lawgiver Manu, giving the definition of an Aryan. He is the Aryan who is born through prayer. Those who are born accidentally are not Aryan. Those who are born out of prayer, they are Aryans. And that is Indian spiritual culture. She was a saint to bring me into the world, my mother. She kept herself, her body pure, her food pure, her clothes pure, her imagination pure for years because I would be born. Because she did that, she deserves worship. And so Swami Vivekananda had tremendous respect towards his mother. And he said, every child is taught to give maximum respect to his or her mother because It is because of the mother, whatever you are, all your greatness is because of the samskaras imparted by your mother when you were not yet born. So that is why we give so much of, and Swami Vivekananda says, what was the Indian spiritual culture? He gives the example. In that, he says that as children, every day, when we are boys, we have to go early in the morning with a little cup of water and place it before the mother, and mother dips her toy into it, and we drink that water. चरणामृत, माँ का चरणामृत पी करके हम लोग अमृतमय हो जाते हैं. That is Indian culture. Mother puts her toy into the water, and that we drink that water. So that is why Swami Vivekananda also thought that the role of mother is supreme in the family, and they are great. All the great people owed their allegiance, owed their greatness, they said, to the mothers. And now finally, I come to one point. Every mother is great because she can bring out, she can impart those samskaras in the prenatal stage, and of course after birth also she can impart samskaras and give an excellent human being and produce enlightened citizen of the world, which will give rise to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which will give the peace and harmony in the whole world. So the role of mother in the family is very much. Now, a woman came to me, lady came to me, she was weeping. I said, why are you weeping? I don't have children. A woman without start a school, all the children of the school will be your children. So that is, and then she started the school and she is getting so much happiness. Look upon each and every child as your child. So there can be two types of mothers. One is a biological mother. Without becoming a biological mother also, you can be a spiritual mother. And the greatest example of that is Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Sharda Devi was married to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was leading a Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, as you know, the guru of Swami Vivekananda. He was a great devotee of the Divine Mother and he was a highly spiritual person. So he wanted to practice chastity. He wanted to lead a pure life, but he was married at a very young age when he was a child. So when he was of course 23 years, but the girl was only a child of 5 years at that time, Sharda. Now, according to village custom, they were married. So when Sharda became young, she came at the age of 18 to Calcutta, Dakshineshwar, from the village. Now Sri Ramakrishna took her interview and he asked her. Nowadays interview takes place before marriage. That time that was not the custom. Interviews took place after the marriage. So Sri Ramakrishna asked, you have come here. Why you have come? To drag me into the world? You see, because I have been married to you. You have got full right over me. If you want, I will lead a worldly life and produce children. But if you ask me, I want to lead a pure life, a chaste life, live the life of a sannyasin. But whatever you say, I will do. Because I have been married, I am under obligation. And Holy Mother Sharda Devi at the age 18 years girl says, no, I have not come here to drag you into the world. I have got only one request. Please take me along the same path of spirituality which you are traversing. And Sri Ramakrishna was so happy. After some time, now Holy Mother took interview of Sri Ramakrishna. Says, may I ask question? Yes. Will you tell the truth? Yes, I will tell the truth. Please let me know how do you look upon me. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, should I tell you the truth? The mother who is there in Naubat, that is his own mother, who gave birth to him. She was there in Naubat, that is just opposite her room, his room. And the mother who is there in the temple, that is Divine Mother Kali. The same mother is sitting before me. I really tell you, I look upon you as Divine Mother. He told his wife. He gave so much of respect. Not only that he told orally. On 5th June 1872, on Phalharini Kali Puja day, Sri Ramakrishna worshipped whole night he did perform the worship of Mother Kali as Tripura Sundari, but did not put any image on the throne. On the throne was seated his own wife, Sharda Devi. He worshipped the whole night, his own wife. And at the end of the worship, he concluded the worship by the same sloka by which we worship the Mother Durga or Divine Mother. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Sisti Sthiti Vinashanam Shakti Bhute Sanatani Gunashe Gunamayi Narayani Namostute Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarthi Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. He chanted the mantras like that and fell down and saluted her, fled down. He fled, he had prostrated before her, and he entered into Samadhi state, and Sharda Devi also entered into Samadhi state. Now this news reached the mother of Sharda Devi in the village, Jairam Bati, and the mother Shyama Sundari Devi started striking her head. My God, what type of son-in-law I have got? He calls his own wife as mother, and now he has already worshipped his own wife as mother. So my dear daughter Sharda will have not any children who will call her mother. Sri Ramakrishna said, don't worry, my dear mother-in-law. Your daughter Sharda will have so many children that they will call mother, 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 and she will become tired of listening to the word, tired of mother, mother, mother. And really it happened. All the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna looked upon Holy Mother Sharda Devi as their own mother. Then all the householder disciples, women disciples, they looked upon Sharda Devi after the passing of Sri Ramakrishna as Sharda Devi. And then so many people came, followers of Swami Vivekananda, Miss McLeod, Sister Nivedita, Mrs. Oli Bull, Americans, English, from various countries. They also looked upon Sharda Devi as their own mother. And mother was asked, Mother, you are the mother of all? She said, yes, I am the mother of all. Even of the animals? Yes. Even of the cat? Yes. Even of the calf? Yes. I am the mother of all. Even of that parrot? Yes. I am the mother of all. All human beings, all animals, and all birds. That is real motherhood. When your motherhood permeates the whole universe, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So really she felt it all. Not only that, what type of mother you are? I am your real mother. Not only your guru's wife, not only a stepmother, I am your real mother. Not only that, even the people, a dacoit was there, Muslim dacoit called Amjad. Sri Sharda Devi fed him with her own hands. Can you imagine? A Brahmin widow, but she transcended all the limits, she threw away all the various barriers of caste, creed, or religion. He was a Muslim, and Mother Sharda Devi was a Brahmin widow, and still she gave so much love to Sharat. And when she was giving food like that, the niece told, my God, Mother, you lost your caste. Then Holy Mother said, what do you say? Sharat, this Amjad is my child as much as Sharat is my child. Sharat means Swami Shardanandaji, the first General Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission. But for Holy Mother Sharda Devi, both are equal. So Sharda Devi has got that love towards all the children of the world. She is the universal mother. So we can see that aspect of Divine Mother in Sharda Devi. So she has shown through her example that one can be a spiritual mother. Even if somebody is not a biological mother, don't worry, you can be a spiritual mother. But motherhood is supreme. It is motherhood that will bring that great concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are waiting for that concept. Once that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is practiced in all the families, because of the motherhood, because of the sacrifice of the mother, because of the teaching of the mother, when each and every family practices this value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a time will come when all the people all over the world will be permeated by this great universal love, and that will be a great day. We are waiting for that day. I once again congratulate all these organizers for organizing this beautiful program, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much.